What's up, everybody? It's Her to You, and welcome back to Wednesday's Random. So, on today's Wednesday's Random, it's going to be a little tough because I think as a mother, like I fight with this, but the topic is pretty much like when your kids become the op. Like, how do you protect your peace? You know what I'm saying? Um, when the only obstacle that you truly have is your children, right? So, this topic came about because lately I just been having a lot of conversations with some of my girlfriends in regards to their children and their kids kind of like acting up. And, it's just, I feel like even growing up, like I feel like everyone kind of had an act up moment, but this kind of act up nowadays is just a little bit different because it's a little dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just super dangerous because of the world that we're in. Like you're playing with fire and you're not even understanding the stress and the hurt that you're causing your loved one, your mother, your father's, right? So, and again, how Wednesday's Random happens is something happens randomly in discussion and it always brings me back to my journey. So again, just to be, transparent, my daughter is 15 now, but we're definitely better than where we were, you know what I'm saying? Like where we were at, but we still have our days, um and I'm really pleading the blood of Jesus that she continues to make right decisions and she choose. My thing for my child is I want her to love herself enough to do better, period, because at the end of the day this is the life that you're going to end up having to live. So do want to live it free of unnecessary struggles, right? So, all right, so let's go back. So, when I first moved to Georgia, it was I want to say 2018. I think it was 2018. It was 2018. And I moved to Georgia because when I was in Texas, at this time, like my daughter she ran away like twice. Like she had run away twice, and we were kind of there in the area we were in, we were by ourselves. And it was a situation where basically she didn't want to be disciplined. Like literally that is what the case was. Like she didn't want to be disciplined. So the first time she just what did she do? She clearly walked out. Like I was about to get in on her and she ran out, and I thought she was using the restroom or something, but she was really gone. And I happened to come out and caught her mid stride, and I actually took her to a police department. And I had, one of the police officers talk to her, and he let her know like about sex trafficking, missing, her being black, um, just all these different things, right? That he was letting her know. And what's so crazy is that she was really like kind of stoic about it. She didn't really seem really remorseful about it. So at the time, like I was getting, and this is the sacrifices we make as mothers, right? And so at the time, as parents, at the time, I was getting a home bill, and um, my realtor, she didn't know this, but and it's so funny because when I said I wasn't going to get the home, because the home that I was having built, it was like an up and coming community. So there was nothing around. Like there was really nothing around. And as a single mother, I just could not trust that, I would be at work and my child wouldn't dip off. And in this part where we were at in Texas, like at that point, if she would have dipped off around that time, should have been gone. Like she would have been gone, and there would have been no, because I didn't know that area. There would have been nowhere I wouldn't have been able to find my child. So I just remember calling the realtor, and it was very hard because I couldn't be honest. Like I was embarrassed, so like I really couldn't be honest with what was going on at the time. I just told her that, I'm just gonna go ahead and not get it. She she was everything. I'm not gonna lie, but I remember she was definitely fighting for me. And then she was like, I had a discussion with other single mothers, and having a home, being able to buy a home is like kind of the best thing, because as a single mother, you have property, value and all that other stuff. And then the equity would have been good on the home immediately, right? So I just was like, I just fighting back tears. I'm just like, no, like I cannot do this. I can't do this. And um I opted to just move. Like I moved like 2 minutes. I moved into these apartments that I absolutely hated. But they were like 2 minutes away from where I worked. So her middle school was here. Everything was in like a 5 minute vicinity. So I felt like, okay, that would be the best part. So I gave up a home to move into an apartment that I absolutely hated. But I did it in sacrifice, right? So, so after that, we lived there. We lived there for like 6 months. We lived there from like November. No, we moved. I think we moved after Thanksgiving, like Christmas time. Like we moved after Thanksgiving. It was around Christmas. Um, we moved from we was in that apartment from around Christmas to I moved here June 1st. So that's just give you that time frame. In this time, like my daughter was still um she just was just a trip. Like she was really a trip. And what happened was it was just at school, like I'm like, oh my, like no matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter what punishment I gave, no matter what I took away, I could not get through to this girl. And I was taking her to counseling and everything. I was doing a little bit of everything. And um one day, I had some movie tickets. And so she was off at school and I had some movie tickets, and I was like, you know what? Let's go to the movie. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go to the store, because I had a little errand to run, and I was like, just get dressed and and I'll come back and get you. So when I came back, like I could smell smoke. I could smell smoke in the house. So I'm like, are you burning something? What are you doing? And so so I'm looking everywhere because I'm like, oh, something smells like it's on fire. And I'm like, we can't leave until I find what's going on, because we gonna come back and everything's gonna be gone. So finally I look in the trash can and it was like wet up, like burnt paper towels, right? So I knew immediately, you out here, setting fires. Now, I will say this, like in our childhood, growing up, like we all did that. We all did something like that. And then you got your consequence and you knew not to do that again. You know what I'm saying? Or you need to be a little bit sneakier about it. You know what I mean? But so I was like, immediately, like she would not fess up to it. She's, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm like, girl, it's only me and you in here. And I left. So I it was like I think it was like 20 minutes before the movie was going to start, like before we needed to really be there. And then like the movie theater was like um it was like around the corner. So this is where I messed up. I messed up. I was like, go in your room, I'll deal with you when I come back, but I have to go. I'm not gonna waste my movie tickets, because at the time, like I got off at like 10 on Fridays, and I would go sit and watch the movie. So I'm like, let me just redeem my tickets so then I could just use them for myself, whatever. So I go do that. I come back and the house is quiet, but I'm thinking she's in her room. So I, I sit down and I'm like, okay, let me think how I'm gonna address this. But it's just a different type of quiet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Jaden, I'm calling her name, and so I go to the room, and no one's there. It's just empty. So I go to her bathroom. I'm like, okay, and we're in an apartment, so that's it. So it was like a roommate style apartment. So I was on one end, she was on another, and I know she's not in my room. So I go back to the living room and I see this index card. And the crazy thing about this is, let me finish. So the index card, I turn the index card around and it says, I'm sorry. I'm like, this girl just ran away again. Like, oh my God. So I had a house phone. Like I usually always have a house phone. And I'm so glad I did, because my phone, I don't ever be charging my phone. So my phone was like about to die. So I'm on the phone with 911. I'm on the phone with my sister, like, oh my God, this is happening. But I'm by myself and I'm like, I got it. I'm on a landline with the 911. I'm like, hurry. I'm about to hang up. And Lay's like, you can't hang up. I'm like, you just need to get this address, come. But I need to go because I need to try to find her. We're new to this area. I don't really know what's happening here. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go, but I can't go. I'm like trapped. I'm trying to charge my phone. I'm like telling my sister, like, hold on, let me just call you back. Let me figure out what's going on. So she's like, you cannot leave until a police officer gets there. Like, you cannot leave. I'm like, ma'am. So I'm panicking. So the police, in the meantime, I'm calling like friends, I'm texting like, please somebody come and help. And my friend, she was like, I'm gonna come. And I said my phone is about to die. So she brought me like this, like one of those portable chargers. Oh, so baby, like when the police officer came, he was real like lackadaisical, like, and at this time she was like 11, I think. Like there was no urgency. There was nothing. And it was one police officer that came out. It was one police officer that I seen. It was only him that was looking around. I was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. So, boy. So my friend my friend actually ended up finding her. She didn't even know what she looked like. Just by my, description, she was like, I could hear her over the phone. She was like, I think this is her. And so she's like, are you Jaden? And she's like, get in the car now. Like, get in the car. And so my daughter got in the car, whatever. But that's another thing. That's another thing that was scary, because when we were looking all around, we're calling out her name. You know what I'm saying? We're calling out her name. And what she fails to realize is that anybody could have drove to find you and been like, hey, are you Jaden? Your mommy's looking for you. And that would have been and you got in the car. That would have been a whole nother outcome. And of course, they're not thinking like that. It's up to us. It's us that has to think of all of that and have to deal with the trauma and the pain of that, right? So she gets home. The police officer, he kind of threatens her or whatever, but like it's nothing to them. It was wild. And so, my family consoles me, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I can't leave this child home. I can't, because at this time, this is the second time. So the significance of the index card is that every day, like I used to write like little notes to her on index cards. You know, I love you, whatever. And to this day, since then, I cannot write on an index card. I cannot write a note on an index card. Like I can't. I started that tradition so that she'll know it. Like it'd be cute to be in her little lunchbox. I stopped that day doing that because all I can see is her writing "I'm sorry," and to me that'd have been like, I'm tearing up. To me, that'd have been the last thing that my child would have had said to me was, "I'm sorry." Like, you know, um, so that's why we ended up deciding to move. Like, it was either go back to Colorado or go to Georgia. And her grandma was here, her great grandma was here. It was just a multitude of people here, so it just made more sense because then somebody would always be around. But that okay, so moving to Georgia was the worst thing and the best thing eventually. But it was the worst decision I've ever made for myself. But these are the sacrifices that we do for our children. So I left a really good position. I really did. I left a good job. I was doing very well. You know what I'm saying? To think I could have had my own home. You know what I'm saying? I would have had my career. I was going to school. All of that. Like I remember I dropped out of school. Everything stopped for me because I felt like I had to just throw all this attention to my child. So when I moved, I moved out here in hopes of having a support system. I did have a support system in a sense. It's just the support that was given was more towards my daughter and not really just looking at the whole thing and supporting me with my decisions for her and getting her real help. So when we moved out here, when we first moved out here, we moved with the grandma. So in this house, it's the mom, the child, the grandma, and the great grandma. Now, it sounds like it's a lovely thing, right? But you got to remember, I'm not related. I'm only related because I'm the mother of the child. But I'm not related at all. There's no blood between them and I. And it was the worst thing ever because it turned my child into a monster. It really did. She was horrible, right? Because she knew that she had the great grandma and the grandma that was going to protect her. And y'all, at this point, my commute, now remember, I'm moving from a 10-minute radius. Like everything is not even 10 minutes. Everything is like right there. Everything is 2 minutes. Everything is right there. Because that's how I like it. Especially when I was moving out of town. I wanted everything to be right there. So I was driving from, and if y'all know, I was driving from the south side all the way to Kennesaw. That was an hour, sometimes 2-hour commute that I was making back and forth from work. I had transferred from my previous job and was going into here, right? That was hard on myself alone, like mentally hard. Like mentally, I'm like, this is tiring. This is tiring. Because I would have to get up at like, I would have to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to be somewhere at 7, you know? So about 4 or 5, it was early. So that's a sacrifice I'm making after moving here. Moving here. Oh gosh. And my daughter took advantage of it. I'm talking about ran with it. She took full advantage of it. So anytime I try to discipline her, they would stop me. They were doing things behind my back to go against what I would say. So my daughter chose. This was a decision. I don't care what no one says. She chose to make the decision to disrespect me. She went against the grain on me for real, right? And so it was just a lot. It was a lot of arguing. It was so stressful in this home. It was so stressful. It was stressful for me. It was so stressful for me because anytime I would say or do something, and then like they wouldn't have her clean. Like this girl, we're coming from, just me and her. When we was in Texas, sis was cooking breakfast at 11. She was self-sufficient. She's always had her own bedroom, her own bathroom. She used to clean, like sis could clean. So I'm like, no, it's too dangerous for her to wash dishes. Too dangerous. Like these is like new type of grandmas, like for real. Cause my grandma, we was in the kitchen. And the youngest one would like, cause we would divide, this is so off topic, but we would divide like the dishes, right? So obviously somebody would do like the forks, the spoons, and the cups. Somebody else would do the plates and stuff, and then somebody would have to do the pots. And so and it went by, and until you were able to do it, and then da da da. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. But y'all, so it was horrible. I was so depressed. I gained a lot of weight. My skin was just like bad. I just looked like a whole bum. When you're going through that depression, when you're going through that real life, like, and then I had no friends and I had no family. And at that time I really had no friends. Like, cause the home girl that I did have, she lived far. Like we never could connect. Like this whole time we did not connect until one day, and I'll get to that. So I just felt beat up. I just felt beat up every day. I just felt beat up, and I just didn't have no voice. So it empowered my child. And when I say it empowered her, she had this cockiness, like, what you gonna do? And what you gonna do? Mind you, I'm still providing. I'm still taking care of you. I had homegirl in swimming lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm racing home to get her to swim practice. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting up early on my days off when I should be resting to take her here. We're going, doing all this, right? I'm just, this is what I'm doing. Because when I had her and I was a single, I guilt tripped myself as a single mother. Like, I got to make sure, I got to take care of her. I got to take care of, like, this child didn't ask to be here. I have to take care of her no matter what, right? Mind you, I'm getting beat down. This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst. Whoa. In my adult life. This is the worst I've ever felt in my adult life. So bad where I felt like I was going to eventually like have a heart attack, right? I remember calling my homegirl and I was like, sis, I feel like she's gonna give me, like, I feel like she's gonna give me a heart attack. So, the climax, the plateau of everything. One day, I was talking to my daughter's grandma, and she was like, you know what, maybe you should, just to kind of get away a little bit, maybe you should go get an apartment in like Kennesaw where I work, so you'll be closer, so you'll just have it. And I'll just take care of your daughter for the remainder of the school year, right? She was like, I'll just take care of her for the remainder of the school year and, make sure. So I'm like, no. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's wild. So I'm like, no, that's my child. You know what I'm saying? Unbeknownst to me, I get home and my child, she's like, like, I don't remember how the conversation went, but I just want to make y'all visualize this. So we're sitting from across from each other, and she just is like this, right? And she's like, yeah, so I had a conversation with grandma, and she told me, she asked me if I was to go to court, and the judge told me to decide who I was going to go with. If I was going to go with you, my dad, or her, who would I choose? I just want to pause for like 2 seconds. I'm not lying when I say empowered, was eluding, I'm talking about, she was looking through me. She wasn't even talking. It was like she was looking through me. Like, so I said, say that again? I said, hold on, what? Because, you shocked. I was like, what did you just say? And repeated it. Like, if we were going to court, who would I choose? Say less. So I said, that was it, y'all. I was like, I called her grandma like, so she comes down. I said, now I'm thinking about the fact that you told me to go get an apartment. So I said, did you tell her that if she was to go to court and the judge was to make a decision on who she choose? I said, let me tell you something, sis. We ain't got to go to court. We ain't got to stand in front of no judge. You got it. You got it. She is now your responsibility. You make sure she gets to swim. You make sure she gets to school. You make sure she has food. You make sure she has clothes. You make sure all of that. Meantime, y'all, my throat just wants to close. My whole body just feels like it's wild, because it's like, I cannot explain to you, but it literally might be the moment where my whole life changed, which it is, right? But it was just a crashing feeling. I could just feel a crashing feeling where I just felt like I lost everything, but have it though, right? At this cost, have it. So I start, gathering my things, but I'm just like flustered. I'm like, I gotta get, like, I'm starting to hyperventilate, like I cannot breathe. The grandma's like, nah, save all that. Sis is over here coming. She like, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm good, So I'm looking for my key, because now I'm like, I can't remember where nothing is. Ain't nothing where I thought I was. I'm looking for my keys. I'm looking for my phone. I'm scrambling. I'm stuttering. I'm trying to hold back tears because I wish I would. I wish I would. If not, in real life, I should have decked you, right? So, but I'm like, do not hit this child because I'll have to fight both of them at this point. But no. So I'm coming out of the door, and I'm coming out of the door. I'm getting emotional because this is actually really emotional. Okay. So I'm coming out the door, and they still is just mean. You know what I mean? I'm coming out the door, and my daughter and her grandma is right by my car, and my daughter says, do I still have to call her mom? And y'all, when I tell you, at the time it didn't really hit me. Cause I was just like, what? And then her grandma tried to come in like, of course you gang. Like, oh, don't try to be that now. Like, don't try to be that now. And so I was like, oh my God. So I got in my car and I just left. I'm calling my dad. I'm calling my sister. I'm calling my best friend. And I'm like, I'm telling them what happened, and they're going completely off. Like, they're going off. My best friend was like, I'm coming to get you. F all of that. I'm coming to get you right now. I'm coming to get you right now. And my sister was going off. My dad, they was like, chuck her to deuces, and you get the moving, right? But there's no one I can go to. There's no one I can run to. So I just remember parking, and I just was crying because I felt like my identity was gone. My identity was wrapped in being a mother. That was where my identity was. I was a mother. And I was mom. Like, I was a mother, and you, in 2 seconds, after all the sacrifices I made, after all the things I gave up, I don't know why I don't ever bring no tissue in here. But everything that I gave up, and you have the nerve to say that. So I just was like, okay. I wouldn't wish, and I know, like, and this is my friends, like, I feel so sorry for my friends that are going through what I've been through, because it's painful. Not only is it painful, nobody gives you grace for it. Nobody gives you grace for it. They're like, oh, you can't give up on her. You can't give up on him. As a mother, you got to do what you got to do. It's like, but I'm human. And so I remember praying. I remember in the car, and I was just praying. Because I felt like I was going to die. Like, I really did. My chest was my body, just everything was just hurting on me. And I remember God telling me, like, you worshiped her. You worship her. You put her above me. And you put something above me. I'm a jealous God. I'm going to take it away. And immediately I knew what that meant. I never thought that I would be there, because you would have to know me before. Like, I was a ridiculous mom. Like, a ridiculous mom. But I felt like I had to be, right? So after that, oh, and that's why I'm unapologetic who I am, because one, I had to learn who Shanice was. I was introduced to Shanice because you no longer have to be mom in this moment of time. Oh, because it was short lived. They couldn't handle her for a whole week. She ended up running away again. I swear, no joke. That was her last time, but she ended up running away again. And you should. It's so crazy when you see the roles reversed. Like, oh, y'all thought I was playing. You couldn't even handle her. Oh, because I was still there, because I was in my area, and I would come because I was looking for apartments, everything. I was moving. I was moving out. I had already put in an application, everything, right? Not even a week they couldn't handle her. Like, I used to hear all type of stuff. I even called the school and gave them her name. Like, you need to call her. That is her responsibility. Oh, y'all thought I was lying about what I was dealing with. Y'all thought that y'all was gonna take care. Y'all just thought she was just gonna be different for y'all. No, she wasn't. So listen, to this day, if I say, oh, she gotta go, the grandma like, she ain't coming here. To this day, she's still shook off of that 4 days. 4 days. And sis took off again, right? So, in the midst of that, I worked on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know that the relationship with my mother was the catalyst for how I became a mother. I just try to go over and beyond and do things that that I didn't receive, the love and all of that. But I didn't set boundaries with my child. I didn't really I didn't set boundaries with my child. And not only that, I just became a mother, and I did not take my time to really understand that I had a life too. Like, everything was surrounded around her. And when God revealed that to me, I mean, it was still like, once she ran away that time, like, Georgia did not play. They did not play. So like, I did have to, that's when I really did get her, did I get her into counseling at that time? I think I got her into like behavior counseling, but I was still like low-key checked out. I really didn't care. I ain't gonna front. I did not care. And then I just started working on myself. I was working out. I was, you know what? I started, I was getting my hair done more. I just started taking care of myself. That's really what it was. Like, I really just started taking care of myself, and I really just started choosing me first. I started choosing me first, right? And it was the best thing that I could have done for me in my child's relationship, because it made her realize, like, oh shoot, sis. Because I remember, like, I used to be gone too. I used to be out of here. I used to go out of town. I used to be gone every weekend. Gone, right? And I did go rebellious. Because it's like the stages of grief. You know what I'm saying? Or like the stages of like a breakup. You know? Like, you're sad, you angry, and then it's that get back, right? That literally is what I went through, right? So her grandma would be like, because I was like, you can't leave, you can't leave. We got to do this together. We got to do this together, right? That was their thing. But I was checked out because now they want to work together because she done tortured them for 4 days. So now they want to work, but I'm not mentally there. I'm not coming home until late. I ain't checking schoolwork. I'm not checking in. I'm not. Teachers don't. What do y'all want? Let the girl do what she want to do in the classroom. I'm not worried about it. I was going out of town. I was gone every weekend to the point where they let me do it for a little while, right, without saying anything, and then they'll be like, her grandma would be like, I am not her mother. Like, I have things to do, and I'd be like, well, she can stay at home. I don't care. Like, I'm out. This is what I'm out. I'm gone. And so, and so I did that for a while. I did that for a couple months. I did that for a whole while, and then finally, I came home one time, and they were kind of talking in the room, whatever. I didn't care. And so her grandma's like, can you please come and talk to us? I'm like, okay, what's up? And she's like, well, your daughter is saying that she feels like, you don't like her. And I'm like, I'm not going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I don't. Because, and I'm giving y'all a little bit, like, the things that she would say, the things that she would do deliberately to just hurt me, it just turned me like, I'm human. Like, I'm human. She'll be all right. She got you, right? So, but when I finally, because I didn't really like put my eyes on her in months. So when I finally like start looking at her, I'm seeing the remorse. I'm seeing the regret. I'm seeing like I'm losing, like, okay, I messed up. Like, I messed up. And so, and then not only that, I know how it's weird because I know how sensitive my child really is, and how, so I'm like, so, those things are kind of coming back to me. And then my child doesn't really cry at all. So she just breaks down, like, cause she just breaks down, and I'm like, I can't hurt her. Like, you can't, you can't fight hurt with hurt, and I can't hurt her. And I just told her I didn't like her. I basically, so, to her, I told her I didn't love her, didn't like her, didn't want nothing to do with her. So, which in hindsight, it was true. Like, it really was true. But looking at her and seeing her now, I'm like, all right. And then the grandma started crying, apologizing and everything. And I'm like, they're like, you just been gone, and you just doing that, and you just, yeah, I wowed out. I did. I wowed all the way out. So I, I told my daughter, I said, listen, I love you. What you did to me, what you said to me, it hurt. Like, it really, really hurt. You took away from me the only thing that I knew for so long. The only thing I identified myself as being for so long. And it hurt. So I said, do you want to go to counseling? She's like, yeah. And so, boom, that's how we started. We started going to counseling. We started being very honest with how we were. And that is what helped us to be where we're at today. But, and I say this to everyone and anyone that they may be dealing with what I dealt with. You literally have to learn how to choose your peace, yourself, over really these kids. Like, I'm not saying to chuck the deuces to your child. Like, it depends, right? To me, it depends. And I know this is an unfavorable discussion, right? Because you're supposed to be with them to the end, which I will be. I got you, right? I got you. But I'm not going to be a crash dummy for you. I'm not going to sacrifice my livelihood. I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm no longer sacrificing my dreams. I did that when I was younger to get you to a point. But at some point, like you got to stop being op, and you got to transition with me. You got to transition with me because I'm giving you the tools. I'm giving you the keys. I'm giving you the advice. I'm showing you the change. You've seen us, you've actually been there to see us struggle and see us come out of it. You've seen how God has blessed us. You are responsible with understanding the lesson too. You can't just act spoiled and lazy and act like you just are just going to assume things. No, we working around here for these. You know what I'm saying? So I am going to choose peace going forward. Yes, I am going forward, especially with my daughter being a freshman. Of course, I'm there for her. Of course, I don't play, and I talk to her, and because she's still under my roof. So there's rules and everything else. But at the same time, since your decisions are your decisions, the bed that you lay in is the bed that you lay in. I'm here to try to prevent you from doing things a hard way because I'm very honest with you. I let you know, like, ain't nothing's out here true, especially while you don't have to do anything. When I was 14, I was working and had to pay bills in the house and go to school and go to track practice 5 days a week and work. Like I had to do all of that. You don't have to do nothing. Your only job, in a lot of their only jobs, or with the kids that I know that are having issues, your only job is to go to school. You don't have nothing else to worry about. You got on the new Jordans. You got on fresh clothes. You got the brand new iPhone. You got these kids be having the works and be the ones that be out here. I'm like, I really can give this to someone else. Like when my daughter first started high school, there was this young girl that she used to walk with. So I was like, oh, great. So, I'm going to get to know whoever my child is around. And I was excited because I was like, good. I feel safe for her being able to walk with someone to school. And so, and we're not even in, I think we're just now in the second semester. And this baby is having she's having real life home issues where she's having to, where she was out of school for a little bit because her family issues, and then she ended up moving like with her grandma to a whole nother county, and then she had to go to a brand new school, and this is in 9th grade. Meanwhile, with mines, we're signing up for clubs. We're on team. We're on different. We're on the swim team. We're going to. We're going to homecoming. We're doing all these things. And this baby right here, she could come here and have peace. You know what I'm saying? I bet you this baby just want peace. And you, meanwhile, is out here. I'm getting a phone call from the teacher because you don't know how to stop talking in class, or you know what I'm saying, or you just not making good decisions. You know what I'm saying, or you at home and not doing your chores. You chilling. I forgot, or you know what I'm saying, all this stuff. While this baby is experiencing real life as a freshman. As a freshman, she's going into high school. She's supposed to enjoy it, and look what this child's going through. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not doing it. Like, because of what I've been through and what I know now, like I'm not, no kid of mine is killing me. No one's going to have that ability to kill me, to hurt me, to do whatever. If I don't take care of myself, I'm no good for you anyways. If I don't take care of my mental, my financial, my emotional, you know what I'm saying? I'm no good for you. I can't make good decisions for you. So that's why I'm like, And I'm not gonna let nobody guilt trip me. One thing I'm not, even though my family did not. They was like, shoot, because they knew like what all I've been through. They was like, Shanice, do what you gotta do. She'll either shit or get off, you know what I'm saying? Or get off the pot, period. And so, but seeing my friends experience people that guilt trip them, that put that pressure on them, it hurts because I remember being there. I remember being embarrassed to tell people what I was going through. I remember feeling ashamed, like I got one kid and this is what's going on in my life. Like and then just being so hurt about all the sacrifices, like, dang, you don't see what I'm doing for you. Like, I will go above and beyond for you. And this is what you really doing for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to counseling every week. I was going to counseling. 1 week she would go. 1 week I would go. And 1 week we would go together. $60 a pop for months. Because, you know, the EAP service only give you so many free services, and we had things to work through. So, parents, I know we love our children, because we do. We do. I love my baby, and we've been through a lot. But I have to allow you, because I've given you. I don't promote the wrong thing. I encourage you. Anything that you even think you want to do, I invest in that. Or I talk to people that got something going on with that, to have you introduced to that, have you be a part of that, have you just see if that's something that you would be interested in. Like, I've done my part. And so I have, you know, she's not grown or nothing, but I really have. I've settled in the finality. Like, I really have done my part to do everything that I can. Your decisions, my love, is your decisions. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, there's going to be consequences. And boo, you're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to live with that. And there's nothing. I just want you to enjoy yourself. I tell my child that all the time. In real life, I want you to enjoy this time, because you're not going to get these high school years. Because I didn't experience none of this. None of this. I did not experience none of this. So I'm like, this time is going to pass you by. And then you're going to be either off to college or working, whatever you decide you're going to do. But don't mess this up. Enjoy it. Because, excuse me, because during middle school, you messed up. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, you messed up. You was always in trouble. You had things being taken away from you. You know, running away, being in a state of despair and depression and all that. You're not in that no more. You're not in that no more. So now, change your decisions, grab onto your life and live it, because I'm right here with you. Like, I'm a ride it out with you. I really am. Like, we're gonna enjoy the ride, because we deserve to be happy. Like, we deserve to be happy, especially like single mothers, all mothers. I'm not gonna front, but I'm talking to my single mothers. Single mothers, we know what we go through. Like, it's bomb to see our kids doing good. Like, girl, I ain't gotta worry about it. Whew. Like, of course, you worry about their well-being and them constantly making good decisions, and then just the world, being around bad people or whatever, or being at the wrong place, wrong time. But it's a joy to know that your child, when you start seeing your child stepping into their greatness, and you seeing them make decisions, and you seeing them choosing themselves and loving on themselves, and, you know, happy about themselves, and that confidence, you're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. So I'm going to be with you up until a point, because I'm not riding the wheels off on no BS. I'm not built that way. I'm not having you drag me down that road again. We done that. You should have waited until this time. We've done all that. We're not there anymore. So parents need to start choosing themselves over these children. Like, don't let them stress you out, because you put so much more into this. Let's not even talk about the parent and children relationship, okay? Like, as a good parent, because there's so many ways, there's so many avenues, things you can chop it off, but as a good parent, you really do invest so much of your time, your money, your emotions, everything into making sure this person, this little person, is cool, is straight, you know, doesn't have to worry about things. But, you know, and there's no other relationship that's like this. It's none. So we should not be made to feel guilty when you got a child that's out here, that's just out here wilding out. You just gotta kind of let them. You just gotta plead the blood of Jesus over them and pray that God will return them. Pray that God will return your child to what they know for real. So, you know, like I said, I have a couple friends whose children are really out here in these streets, and I just really pray for them. I meditated on them and prayed for them this morning because I just need them babies to just figure it out, to just, you know, be respectful to your parents, because they really are out here trying to get you right, trying to make sure that you're safe. This road is dangerous. It does not care about you. Them streets definitely do not care about you. And if you're gonna choose to just be out here, then just be able to be independent and take care of yourself. Put yourself in a position to be able to really just take care of yourself. Because depending on people, sleeping on people's couches, bumming off people, that's only gonna last for so long. It may seem fun now because y'all young, y'all partying, y'all having a good time or whatever, but that's not gonna last. That's not gonna last long at all. You gonna turn around, you're gonna be in your late 20s and you still trying to, and then people gonna be like, no, you got to go. Like, you gotta go. Like, people's responsibilities is gonna change, and people are not gonna want to just be kicking it all night or all day. They got stuff, they got stuff to do. They got places to go, and you're not working. You don't, so that's only gonna last for so long. It's only gonna last. And for parents, mothers, fathers, do not put yourself in an early grave for no one, including your children. Don't do it. Live your life. Choose you. Choose your peace. Choose yourself. Because you cannot be good to them anyways. One, if you're gone. Two, if you don't take care of yourself. If you're not right mentally, you can't make a good decision for them. You can't. You cannot. If you're, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the things, I remember all the things that I was going through, all the ailments and body aches and stuff. I barely could get up because I'm stressing so bad. And any time I could have been out of here. And then what? And then who is gonna do you like I am? Because 4 days took them out. What do you think what would have happened? They would have loved you all the way up until 18. And then since you'd have been kicked out the door. I'm just saying. Other people have. So that's it for Wednesday's Random. That is my... That turned into a whole story time. That is my story time for real on, choosing your peace when your kids become the opposition and not the transition. When they're not transitioning with you and with life, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, regular issues, I had some serious issues with my child. Regular, simple stuff, of course. Don't be like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? But, work, and I did all that. Work with them. Work with them through all that. You know what I'm saying? Or help them. And I did all that. So I did all them, check all your boxes. Once you check all your boxes, because that's the biggest thing, is I don't want, you don't want parents to feel guilty or let them outside voices guilt trip you. Check all your boxes. Did I do this? we going to doctor's appointments. We doing blood work. We getting equilibrium. So what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So, cross your T's, dot your I's, and just accept that this is just what you may have to go through at this time. But choose peace and choose yourself. And that is it for Wednesday's Random. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Make sure you like, comment, and share. And have a good night. Or actually, good afternoon.